Yeah, it's also great that they kind of had that moment. But when we talk about Neymar, we had these expectations of him, returning to Santos. We weren't really sure what the future held for him. But Shaq, seeing him play with that level of confidence, enjoying the game again, how big is this for him?
It's huge. And in much the same way that we were discussing Chicharito, a player who's had his injury issues, hasn't been able to discover his old form, but we know how good a player Neymar has been. And you saw flashes of that. And again, while the acceleration has left him, some of the mobility has left him, the cleverness, the touch hasn't. And that was good to enjoy by one of the most decorated, but at the same time, one of the most criticized players in the game, particularly over the last decade. But it's good to see him coming back home, good to see him enjoying his football, closing out that circle where it all started. That, for me, that kind of emotional ribbon that he's tying around what has been a spectacular career, regardless of the criticism, and I've leveled my fair share at him. It's good to see him be able to tie that ribbon around it.
I had no doubt if he was physically fine, he would just be Neymar, or a version of the Neymar of old, which is still better than 90% of the players out there. I don't want to sound like a bitter old man here, but I'm not going to presume to be an expert on South American football. The Brazilian Serie A, that's no. But I've seen more of Santos in this last 2 weeks than I have in years. Come across my timeline, come across on TV. And why? Because of Neymar. In an era where you have on one side of this continent, James Rodriguez, Sergio Ramos, playing in Liga MX. On the other side, you have Lionel Messi, Sergio Busquets, Luis Suarez, Jordi Alba. I cannot stop thinking how this is just such a missed opportunity for Major League Soccer. And people keep coming back, whoa, the health. If he'd only play a few games, he wasn't that good anyway. Look what he's doing. And I know there's snapshots. I know it's not a body of work. It's going to take some time.
Yeah.
But good Lord, it's a highlight reel every time we see Neymar play.
Seems
and
like
what does MLS need right now? They need to capitalize what's going on with Messi. And I keep going back, and I know it sounds tiring and it sounds bitter, but you need something. You needed a rival for Messi. I could think of no better rival than Neymar. I could think of no bigger player than Neymar to come and bring his skills, bring that flair, bring that just infectious environment that is Neymar. And yes, with that may come some injury. With that, yes, may come Carnival, his sister's birthday. I'm here for it, Shaq. I just can't stop thinking about the missed opportunity of Major League Soccer here.
I totally agree. Listen, he continues to be a draw. I will say that Major League Soccer has to know exactly who they are and the direction that they're going in. And now, while you could make that argument around Lionel Messi and Sergio Busquets and the others, Luis Suarez far less so, is Neymar the direction that this league wants to be? And I get your point about the rivalry and everything that Messi, Neymar kind of head-to-head may bring. But outside of that clash, unless those two are meeting on the same pitch, I don't see the commercial value to it. I don't see how it validates itself in that way. Because while you can't question the Messi signing, his performances and his importance and impact on the league, you could probably do so for Luis Suarez. And I see Neymar, while a bigger name at his peak, certainly in terms of his talents right now and where he is right now, that's about his level.
That's the key, though, at his peak, like you said, from Neymar, and that's what he's trying to recover. And it seems like a quid pro quo situation when it comes to Neymar, Santos, and what could eventually be a return to the Brazilian national team. Speaking of MLS, but before that, we want to remind you that you can watch Neymar's ex-team, Fútbol Club Barcelona, against Rayo Vallecano, Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Coverage begins 2:30 p.m. on ESPN+.